I couldn't find a news story on this, so I'm just going to share with you what my best guess is as to what's happening with this intended victim based upon what I'm seeing. Only he could tell us what he was actually doing, what he was looking at, why he was looking at it. So I'm just going to venture a guess. I'm going to let the full video run through before I get started. Hey guys, retired Lieutenant Todd Heaton here with Humilitas First. This is South Africa, August 26, 2025. It looks to me like this guy's picking up a load of something from this business. He's holding a paper, probably an invoice, and his phone, an intent on making sure that he has what he needs. The problem with that is this vehicle carjacking crew over here, well, they can likewise see, read, and understand the opportunity that awaits them. I could so easily see myself doing this. I could see myself having a list of items on my phone and just standing there comparing my phone to the invoice. Head down, perhaps confused, but intently focused on getting my order correct. You have to know your enemies, but you also need to know yourself. In other words, it's good to know your weaknesses. If you're a task-oriented person who strives for perfection, out here in the seam, well, that can be a weakness. Here's the bottom line. This guy is distracted. Predators are going to read that like an easy day. It looks to me like the first of the two business representatives, well, he's done. He's going inside. The other employee, he's not far behind. Our victim, he is still eyes down as if he's fretting over this task, even as the carjacker's car draws near. So how would I recommend handling this situation? By far, the best way to avoid this is to avoid high crime areas and find a comparable store in a small town near you that has a far lower crime rate and patronize that store where this kind of thing is less likely to happen. Vote with your wallet. Aside from that, well, there's at least a couple points that I want to make here. My first point is that it's okay to be seriously focused on your task, striving for perfection. Just don't do that out here in the seam. Maybe this process is new, so there's going to be a learning curve where you do that new task, but you basically suck at it. You might even become confused. You struggle, and each time, little by little, you get better. You become more competent, quickly confirming that you've got everything you intended on obtaining. Well, if you have to have this distracted, intensely focused, eyes down look on your face, just do it inside the store. Don't do that outside in the parking lot. Rather, it's preferable to do that back in the warehouse or in the main part of the store when the assistant walks up with the goods. Do all of that inside so that you're not telegraphing to the predators that are out on patrol looking for easy victims. We don't want them seeing this, especially if this is a high crime dangerous area where carjackings are common. My second point is you also want to get really good at your job. This process of, picking up XYZ items, even inside the store, I want to be good at that. I don't want to be wasting time. If I'm in a city, if I'm in an area where there's a lot of crime, I want to become efficient at just about everything that I do, with most of the emphasis on arrivals and departures. If part of the process includes an assistant loading the car, well, then I might just go ahead and open that lift gate and tell them, hey, as soon as you step outside the door, it's the white SUV to your right, the lift gate's open. Go ahead and load it. I don't need to be out there. I can be standing in the store, observing this process from the window or the front door, chatting with the clerk. Well, I'm really just paying attention to emerging threats that may be approaching the parking lot. Why? Well, because I don't want to be standing there if this assistant happens to take a little bit too long to load the vehicle. I don't want to be loitering in the seam. That seems like a dumb thing to do in a high crime dangerous area. Alright, let's talk about arrivals and departures for a second. As you arrive at your destination, in this case this store, if there appear to be dangerous men just loitering outside the store, well, you're probably not going to park. You're going to drive past, or you're going to drive through the parking lot out the other side. You're going to take a little cruise, come back in 5 or 10 minutes, and most likely those potential threats, well, they've moved on to wherever it is that they were going next. That's why you want to build in time. You want to front load time by leaving 10 or 15 minutes early so that you have that luxury of time to just avoid potential problems. If you arrive at your destination like 1 minute before you need to be inside the business, well, then you're out of options. That's not good. You want to stack options for yourself, and part of that includes time. Because there's no threats when you're parking, you have more time to park. So back in. Why? Being able to just pull forward to the left or to the right, that's going to give us a quicker, more efficient departure. That's what we want. So in the same way that leaving your house early for your destination builds in time, backing into the parking space, that also front loads time. You're building in time for the departure. Let's say, just like the victim did, that we just pull straight in. Well, guess what? Most people are not very good at backing up beyond just backing out of a parking space. I'm talking about backing up around objects and at greater distances. Yes, police officers, paramedics, firemen, sometimes they're going to have the opportunities to practice those skill sets. They're going to get better because sometimes they have to leave a crime scene or a fire or a medical aid call quickly. But that's not the case for most people. Timing is everything, and bad guys, they exploit it. Even if our victim was able to get into the driver's seat, start the car, if he doesn't move, if he doesn't begin backing up at this point, well, they're just going to box him in. And the same thing's going to happen because they know he can't pull forward. There's a building blocking him. I'm going to focus on a quick, short turn so I can drive away instead. If that means I cut this guy off slightly and he gives me a honk, then I'm going to give him a wave with my whole hand, not just one finger, as if to say, hey, sorry, and then I'm going to move. If he's of goodwill, that's the end of it. If he's targeting me and he starts to, pursue me, well, that's a different solution for another video. Assuming I'm having a bad day and I pulled in rather than backed in, then I would rather back out in such a manner that he has to stop short. Maybe it annoys him a little, but I would much rather be able to drive forward if this is going to become a thing than I would to try to back away rapidly. That's going to suck. Because if I back out going this direction, guess what? They can still jump out with their guns and run up on the car. And unless I happen to have some skills at backing up quickly, that's going to be a problem. And it's still going to be a problem when I get down to that road down there. Am I still going to be backing up? Am I going to try to do a J-turn in the parking lot? Lots of issues. Here's a bonus tip, and I know you've heard this before if you watch this channel. When you see the doors beginning to open before the cars even come to a full stop, that's a clue. Because normies, they don't do that.